diagnostics again. Previously we had this PCM. This is from a 2010 Dodge Ram, and this Ram was pretty much dead because it was burning one fuse, and that was the power supply fuse for this. So we went further into diagnosis, and we found out that inside this PCM there is the injector capacitors. There are two of them here. So these two capacitors are shorted. So being shorted, every time you supply power here, show over, the fuse is burned, and there was no way to do anything else. So that's the reason why this PCM was brought to me. So this is from a diesel 6.7 diesel. They brought it to me to figure out what's going on. So I took it apart. I did the video about it. I tried to diagnose it, tried to fix it, but unfortunately I cannot remove this board. I had a challenge. I removed the screws, but this board is glue on because of these. So I could not take this board apart. That's a problem. Otherwise, if I was able to take this board apart, I could be able to change these capacitors, and then this ECM could go back to work. But I can't. This is very hard to take apart. So the customer supply a donor. So today we're gonna take all the software from this one and transfer to this donor. I already read this ECU. The way I got it to read it is I remove the this is a diode type of MOSFET. So if you can see, this guy sits here. I don't know if I can zoom in, but I'll zoom it to the new one. Just give me a second. But this chip, this transistor, it lives here. So when I remove this chip, this transistor, sorry, keep saying chip, I don't know why, what's wrong with me. Once I remove the transistor, now I was able to cut the power that goes to the capacitors. So now I can supply power to the ECU, and then I can read, and then I can do anything I want. But you cannot put it back in the vehicle in this state, otherwise no injection. So today's video is just to show you that we can actually clone this and then write it to the donor. That way it's gonna just be a plug and play. So this is this kind of ECU, CM 2200, CM 2200, and let's get to it. So we already read this one. I do have a video already made up to read this, and then today we're gonna just write the software back to the donor. It's pretty much a simple process if you have the right tool. I'm using the Alien Tech Case 3. That's my tool I use. And let me show you how we're gonna do that. Okay, for those who are curious, what I was talking about is actually this transistor is actually a diode. It has two diodes. So there's one diode going this way, so it's just like a one-way power coming this way to your your injector capacitors here. So for the other ECU, we have a problem with these two capacitors, and they are very hard to remove because this board, it's very hard to flip it on the other side. These other capacitors are good. We have 1, 2, 3 more here capacitors, so those are okay. However, these two, they are shorted, and they were causing the power that come from, you know, the power supply coming through this transistor, and then back here it was kind of like shorting it out, and the fuse could blow. And I even experienced it here to my power supply, was just like going down. Now today, this is our donor. This ECU is good, and now we're gonna write the software back to this ECU, and then this ECM will be back to will be ready to just plug and play. Now I have a software here running. Now this is our Dodge Ram 2010, so we're gonna click on that. The reason why it's right there, because I did the I did read the software using it before on the previous one. Actually, I should show you the old ECU here. So this is the old ECU, and just to make things clear here, because some viewers are gonna ask me questions, this is the transistor that I was talking about. Okay, this is the transistor. So I took it off, and now I no longer have a short because these two capacitors are shorted. So when I took this off, now my power can go through the ECU. Now I can read it, and then I can read the software from the chip. If you are curious, I can show you how to actually read this one. This one is it has like 2 diodes inside. So I have my look here. Let's go to. We're gonna go to diodes. Just go to this tool. It's so nice, but I'm still learning how it works. Yes. Oh, okay. So we go there. Main menu. We're gonna check diode and capacitors. Yes. So we're gonna go there. We're gonna say diode. Okay. So now we're in diode mode. So let's see here. Let's see if I can do this one with one hand. I'm not sure, but let's see. Bear with me. One hand. So from here to what we got. Do you see that? So that's good. That's one way. And then if we go on the other one, oops. See, 45 at 8 volt. So now if you will reverse, we should read 0. So reverse bias, right? So we go this way. See, nothing. Okay, so that's nothing. And on the other side, nothing. So just a quick, a quick test just to show you how this one is supposed to be tested. Anyways, so back to this guy. So I removed it, and yeah, if you have this diesel ECU for a Dodge, and if you are blowing a fuse, I think it's a power supply fuse for the ECM, and then you know where to look to your PCM. The best way is just to replace it, because there's no other way, unless you know how to tear this apart and do it. I was unable to do that. Okay, let's get into testing, into reading. Of course, I have to connect my wires here. I'm gonna solder these wires. If I remember correctly, this one comes with a manual, so I'll have to go to the manual here, and it will show me exactly what to do. By the way, this system, you have to pay for it. It's very, very expensive. That's the ECU we are dealing with. Okay, CM2200, if you can see. And that's the inside, as you can see. Those are the two shorted capacitors I was talking about. We need that pad, which is right there. We needed that multi cable. We have our ribbon 1443. That's the one right there. And that's what they want us to use. Okay, so we're gonna do that, and they show us which color, how to do it. Very simple. So let me connect this ribbon, and then let's go from there. Okay, ribbon has been connected according to the diagram, and then there's more wire that goes in the back, just like the way it shows there. So pretty much simple. And now we're done with this. All that's been done, connected. So now we accept. We're gonna go to the we select this first, and then we're gonna check first. What are we gonna do? We're gonna say continue. By the way, you have to connect the power, so your communication, your power, so all ready to go. He's asking me if I want to read the manual. I'll say no, because I already connect my stuff. So what it does is it's going to we're gonna have to identify the ECU first before we do anything else. Okay, all right, the reading is in process. We got our ECU there. VIN number did not show up, but we have the software, so we are reading it, and this is gonna take some time. So let's the computer go through it, and let's see how long it's gonna take. I don't wanna just film this. It's gonna take a while, so let's I'll turn on the camera when it's done reading. I'm just doing the full backup first from this ECU, the donor. Then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write the software that I already saved on the computer from this ECU. I'm gonna write it to this one. Okay, that's a process. So let's see how it goes, and we'll be right back. Okay, 99% to finish. Now it's 100%, it's done. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna wait. And then we're gonna just save this one as a donor, just in case. So we're gonna write this as donor. Okay, we're gonna save it. Save file separately. No. Okay, now we're gonna click clone. Okay, upload file, because we already have a file, so we're gonna upload the file, and that file is this one here, which I did the reading and I save it on the 23rd. So that's the guy. So I'm gonna double click that, and it asks me to connect the ECU to be cloned. It's been connected. So then I'm gonna click, voila, and now that's it. It's gonna do its magic. It's gonna verify, make sure the file is not corrupted, make sure it's good. Then it's going to start writing it. And that's the file that I saved from this computer, and now we're gonna write it to this one. And then I see it's retrieving. It looks like things are good. So it's gonna start writing, so that's good. As you can see, there is, I like to see that data blinking. It means things are going right, the right way. So I'm gonna just wait to see if we have any progress going. Oh yeah, there we go. So when that thing blinks, you're in a business. So as you can see, sector on 00, so yeah, so far so good. Yeah, there you go. So that's how the backup goes. Okay, and we're gonna let this go until finish, and that's gonna be the end of this. And then we will film after the track started, just to confirm our fix. Alright, I'll be right back after it's almost done. Okay, 100% clone is finishing up. Just waiting for the final bar to go through. And yeah, so let's see how it goes. Still going here. Yeah, still going. Yeah, the little bar has to finish, and then we call it good. Well, this is your bonus video. The ECU that we cloned, on my way to the truck, I forgot my camera. That was not a good day. I remembered my camera when I already put the ECU back on the truck, and the truck is running. Anyways, the truck ran perfect. The customer was so happy. Everything went really smooth. So now, I asked him if he wanted his old PCM, the old computer that was shorted. But he said no, he doesn't need it. I can do whatever I want with it. So I brought it home with me. By the way, the vehicle, the truck, the diesel Dodge 2010 with 6.7 was not in a city where I am, so I have to actually travel. There is quite of a distance from here where it was. So when I came back with it, and I wasn't feeling, I didn't want to really throw it in the garbage. I want to find out what can I do to see those capacitors, because those capacitors were shorted. So I really wanted to see and, you know, find out really what happened. So luckily I was able to do something with it. So I end up removing the ECU, I mean the board. As you can see, this is the plug. So I removed the computer, you know, because it was kind of impossible. So this thing is so glued. Like Cummins does a very good job to their ECUs, and that's the reason why their products are so expensive. It's for a reason, 100% reason. I really give them credit for that. So this ECU, they are very well built. There's no chance for water to get in there. Glued plus glue here, very, very hard to take out. It took me a lot of effort to remove this, to take this apart. So anyways, by taking this apart, I did some boo-boo. What do I mean by boo-boo? I did some minor damage on the components, and I'll show you what I did. The first component I damaged is this capacitor here. For some reason that capacitor popped out in a process, but that's very easy to put it back on. I'll put that back on. These capacitors, injectors capacitors, the two of them, very, very strange capacitors. I'll show you them here. These are, ladies and gentlemen, the secret of Cummins. I'll get this stuff here, and I'll get, okay, so I shouldn't be even touching this one because this capacitor was leaking, okay, and by leaking it was causing a short. Grab a light here maybe to help you out to see. So after I took them apart, I found out that this capacitor is one of the special capacitor with the 3 pins, and I'm trying to find 3-pin type of capacitors, and I cannot even find them online. So they are very, very rare capacitors, even though I have all the data I need, because this is the shorted one. This one is actually, this one was leaking. I shouldn't be touching it, it was poisonous. They are 6800, if you do remember. It's written on them. 680 microfarad, and they are 63 volts. So those are the type of capacitor they use, and then it's 3 pins capacitors with a 1 positive and 2 negative. So when I was doing my research, I was asking some, you know, manufacturer why there is a 3 pins. They say, well, the 3rd pin, the second ground pin, is just for stability, really is not required. But I don't want to just put whatever capacitors in there. I just want to get the same rating and the same type of capacitor with 3 pins, just to keep that stability into the system, so that I'm going to rebuild this ECU, and this ECU should be, this PCM should be able to work again. Nothing wrong with it. The only thing is to find these capacitors, these 2 capacitors, and then I should be good to go. And the 3 other capacitors, unfortunately, they were damaged during disassemble. These are very easy to find. There are so many of them on Amazon. So these ones I should be able to find no problem. I'm gonna show you how they look like. Yeah, these are the other 3 capacitors. Very, very common one. They are 470 microfarad with 50 ohms. Very common capacitors. No problem. I'm not worried about these ones. For some reason, the other one, the shield was peeled off. I don't know why it came off, because these things, they are glued in a chassis. I'm sorry, in my studio here I don't have the chassis with me, but the chassis is actually in my garage outside. But this one came from this one here, the one that's naked. So yeah, very interesting, very good discovery on my side. I was happy I was able to successfully remove this one without doing any damage on the pins or whatever. So I'm gonna desolder these leftover pins from the 3 capacitors, the small one. But I'm trying to find the 3 ones, the 2 big ones. Once I found those ones, problem solved. This ECU is still good. It's gonna go back to, well, I'll sell it, and I have to make sure I test it and it's in a good running state. Then I'll put it on the market. There is nothing wrong with that transistor. I still have it here in my package, and that little component that are damaged, I still keep it here. So, and some screws for this. So everything is here and just ready to go. That's what I want to show you, folks. But the process went very, very well. The diagnosis went very well. I was able to identify the problem with this computer, blowing the fuse, the power fuse on a track side in a TIPM. Yeah, it's I don't know if it's a common, but yeah, this capacitor was leaking and it's shorted. And if you are interested, I can actually show you how it's shorted here. I have a multimeter here. I'm gonna put it in a beeping. This one is automatic. So if you touch this and this, beeps, beeps, beeps. So shorted. I believe you can hear that. So however, this one's still good. So if we go, come on. I don't like this meter. That meter is a little bit weird. It beeps on anything you are testing. So let me grab my my trusty meter here. I will go on continuity, right? So if you touch, this one has a bar that will show you what's going on. When you touch things together, you'll see an action on that little, oops, come on, see, that bar comes together with the other one. So anyways, let's test this one. So this is a good one. So I'm on a positive and negative. As you can hear, it beeps just a little and then it's quiet. And here, nothing, right? I don't know if you can actually see. Let me show you. If you can hold the camera like this, maybe. This one is good. So if I touch here and here, quiet. Nothing's happening. Okay. If I go to the other terminal, quiet. No problem. But these two, because they are ground, they should beep. For sure. There you go. Those two, they are ground. But this one is positive, negative, nothing. Nothing. Okay. Now let's go to the shorted one. That's positive. As you can see, that's positive right there. And negative. Really, it's shorted. I go to the other one. Shorted. And then these two, they're supposed to be actually, they are two ground. So you can see that this capacitor, this one is really shorted bad. Okay, that's all I want to show you guys. If you have a Cummins 2010 Dodge Ram 6.7 diesel truck, and you're experiencing some sort of fuses blowing up, as soon as you put the fuse in, pops up. Well, don't hesitate to check your PCM. It might be one of the capacitors shorted. That was my case, and the customer was able to buy one, and I clone it, and that's the video you just watched. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, ring that bell. Remember, viewers, anything I can see it's very interesting, I'll put it for free. Thanks for watching Quick Automotive Diagnostics. Have a wonderful day.